I thought I would go live. I just got done with watching a live by Brian from Here's the Deal. Figured I would go live. Everything. Trying to organize everything. Just got done eating beans and rice. No, my friend made it. Friend made it right before. Hey, Lone Wolf. Not much. Figured I would go live right now because I I'm having. It's been 4 years since my unlawful arrest. I was the one attacked, and for my reaction, they are maliciously prosecuting me to save their fucking asses. But I'm having a hard time anymore telling my story. Like, it's getting harder and harder to tell my story. Each time I tell my story, because it's been 4 years, So like each time I think, man, if I could just like, look at Brian's live. I can go and I could tell my story. He's got like over 100,000 subscribers, man. There'll be enough subscribers there to tell my story, and maybe somebody will be able to hear it. It's not Brian's fault, It's just the way it is, Seems like nobody cares about what's happening to me, which is the better for Nye County. Nye County's actively profiting on the fact that nobody gives a fuck about me, which is cool, It's a little hurtful, but it's all right, You need to structure it with a proper story. Yeah. Yeah, it's all based on self-evident truth. So, if anybody was really interested, they could easily look at what was going on, All I've really wanted was for people that were interested in my story and watched my videos to see what was happening to me. Maybe have listened to my story or read the descriptions, because I put what I wanted to say in my descriptions on my videos. But like, I just wish that somebody, like, there was like, what if I had 100,000 subscribers that called and was like, wait a second, he wasn't telling you or you employees that he was going to stuff anything up your asses. In fact, he wasn't even threatening you. He didn't walk across the street and push you. Your deputy walked across the street and pushed him, and he reacted to your push, your unlawful push, and then you guys arrested him for his reaction to your unlawful push. Like, if I even had like 100 people that was like smart enough and willing to make that phone call, I bet you they would have dismissed my case. But Nye County's like, oh man, we got him isolated. We got his evidence suppressed. Nobody's even giving a fuck about it. He's full isolated. We'll just leave these fictitious warrants on him, and we'll just, like, this is keeping him out of our hair. We don't have to listen to him protest our wrongful actions while we have this malicious manufactured warrant out against him. Wow. You can only comment if the screen is sideways, huh? I don't turn the phone or anything to make it like go like vertical or horizontal when I go live on StreamYard. I don't know why, but I just don't. So sorry about that, Christopher Real. 2,000 subscribers, huh, Lone Wolf? That's pretty good, bro. Good job, dude. I mean, it's not like we can like work for it or ask somebody to do it, but they just gotta like our shit or like who we are. Maybe we'll get us some subscribers and shit. Proud of you, Lone Wolf. Thank you. I'm good. Thank you for sharing. I got like 626 or something like that, 629, something like that. Yeah, radical customers. That's one thing. The tribe, this guy auditing Reno 911, he's like the most famous auditor in Nevada. And I'm a cop watcher. I'm not really an auditor. I never really was an auditor. I just like to protest the government and put my camera on their bitch ass. But the thing about it is that like this auditing 911 is like the most famous one in Nevada. Got the most subscribers and the most traction. Hey Riddle, good to see you. Am I okay? I don't know if I'm okay. You know, like um, basically, I'm not literally dying, but I'm dying inside. Maybe, you know. But let's not talk about that too much. I'm feeling depressed. I suffer from chronic depression, anxiety, and stress anyway, so like it's easy for me to feel depressed. But like, it's not, you know, it's caused by uh, every time I try to tell my story to the internet, hoping that somebody will hear and that like people will be interested and like try to like all of a sudden there's like a movement where they're all out there protesting in little ass gabs, you know, trying to wait a second, what the fuck are you guys doing to them? It's not happening, but like you know as good as I do, Riddle, that like fucking Jeffrey Winehouse, you know, he got fucked up way more worse than I have. He's been sitting in some Missouri shithole detention center somewhere in a prison. That's okay. Um, my friend said that my friend Pablo needs some help carrying some products up to the house. It's like upstairs, and they work, and basically when they get here with all this stuff that they have to like they're shippers, and I just help them pack the shit upstairs. You know, 13 years now. Yeah, I know. Like some federal shithole prison for getting shot by the FBI, framed, and the mere fact that he miraculously lived, he has to be in prison. He didn't pull his gun. He didn't shoot nobody. They fucking pulled their guns on him and shot him. Used his gun as an excuse to uh, attempt to murder him is what they wanted to do. Thank God he didn't die. The fact that he was praying on the way over to her. All he wanted to do was get his camera, his computer. Sorry. All he wanted to do is show up and get the computer that they raided his house and stole. Basically told him that they would meet him out on a highway at gas station somewhere, and then basically, oh good, he's got a gun on his hip, we can shoot him and say that that he tried for us. Too bad Jeffrey Winehouse didn't have about four good men waiting in the bushes and actually tried for them. That's what I got to say about that. But I'm glad he just survived his attempted assassination and lived to what, sit and rot in prison. I'm gonna go help my friend Pablo. If you guys could give me like 5 minutes to sit and maybe chat amongst yourselves, I'll be right back. Just gonna look at this ceiling for a little while, but I'll be right back to talk to you guys more about this. Uh, I didn't. I was hoping I could just talk to somebody. How many people are in here? I got 2 people. Hey, William L., good to see you. Hope you're still here. Sean Little, you should email him, give him your number. He call you and cost you nothing. Oh, that'd be cool. Good evening, you have rights. Thank you, William L. Good evening to you too. About the documentary of Jeff Winehouse. Oh, that's messed up. Thank you, Sean Little, William L., Evil Love, and Lone Wolf, Christopher Real, and the tribe for being up in here. I wanted to talk about some shit. Thank you, William L. You're here. You're awesome. You're awesome, big bro. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's disheartening, you know. I've been trying to tell my story for 4 years, and it just seems like it's not really catching any traction. I'm working on my case the whole time. I'm filed Faretta rights, my own attorney, pro se, pro per actually. But next, all of a sudden, I've been working on my case by myself this whole entire time. So, like, while I'm asking people for help, doesn't mean I'm not trying to help myself. It's just that you guys aren't seeing everything that's going on in the background. It's kind of hard to do it too while I'm basically forced into exile. Their little malicious, fictitious warrant is what's helping them keep me basically suppressed. But I still have the right to defend myself through the court process as far as writs and motions are concerned. So that's basically what I'm doing. But it's a very lonely road, and I'm trying to convey the fact that I'm out here by myself, and yes, I do need your guys' help. I need more people talking about doing things, but it's nothing to nothing. I can't. It's not that you guys. Yeah, I would never think anyone of you or Brian or Chili or anybody have ever let me down. I love you all. I love you all. I'm so thankful for all the help that I've have gotten this far. But yeah. Trippy. It was sucky. I saw that Brian from Here's the Deal was basically he's high impact flicks is what he is, right? But I see Brian is live and he's like letting people come up on panel and tell their stories. So I was like, man, fuck, should I go up and try to tell my story? I wanted to tell him my story back in 2023, but yeah, I don't know what happened there. He stopped being interested or something. And I sent him my stuff on the email back then in 2023. It was up to him to pursue wanting to talk to me about it further, and he never did. So, that I can't say anything other than that. Like, I don't know for a fact whether he, cold shouldered me or whatever. Sure feels like it, but, I'm not going to pin it on the guy. I can't, it's not like I'm going to hold him down and say, hey, bro, you left me behind, But yeah, I'm thankful to everybody that's helped me out in any way, shape, or form thus far. Yeah, yeah, they are the wrong tribunals for remedy because these are state administrative courts that aren't even actually courts. They're not even actually for our actual remedy. Our courts are in the higher level, but it's a function of government, and it is a function of government, and our government is supposed to be working for us, not against us. But right now, they're actively working against us. So, it doesn't really matter who you talk to, who you're going to talk to, Kash Patel and Pam Bondi. They're not going to give a fuck even less. Let's face it, it's not a story for short attention theater. Exactly, the tribe. The tribe, what I'm having the hardest time with right now is that fucking, oh my God, do I have to tell my story one more time to a bunch of people that do not give a fuck? Talk about fucking making you feel like, about that tall or whatever, however you want to describe that, tons of my comments and everything on the YouTube. I'm commenting with the aim to like spread whatever knowledge I have, so that other people can fucking have this knowledge and put it in their dome piece, so that maybe they can use it in a like-minded fashion. But it comes off to these people as like, oh, don't try to tell me, I already know, and all this stuff. It's like, yeah, I know, you may already know. A lot of us already know, but I'm just trying to forward the information. Maybe somebody doesn't know, but you know, you know. And I've talked with you, the tribe. I am diagnosed with mental illness. I do have mental illness, but am I a stupid motherfucker? In no way, shape, or form. Gracias, mucho gracias. The thing about it is it's funny because you've talked with me, the tribe, and I do know a lot of stuff about like property rights, these supposed laws and all this shit, by the psychiatrist. I was diagnosed by the psychiatrist. They wanted to find out what was wrong with me. Why did I care about being funny more than I cared about doing schoolwork and stuff? I have problems because I'm considered not normal, right? But it's like Chili. He calls himself an autodidactic law scholar, which is true. You and me can't take that away from Chili. He knows what the fuck he knows. But it's people like Chili that have this shit stuck in their head that they never even wanted it stuck in their head, but they are able to retain some of this shit, and then they get called crazy for trying to exclaim the part where they retained it. You know what I mean? And that's what the fuck's happening to people. Like, yeah, it's funny that you my stepmom is like the number one psychologist in the whole nation. I didn't know about this until I was like 30 years old. You know what I mean? Like, I guess my dad, when he was in prison, was fucking pen paling some bitch, and it turned out to be the top psychologist for drug and rehabilitation, drug and alcohol rehabilitation in the nation. And this weird lady not only was pen paling my dad, which is a piece of shit motherfucking human being, but actually fucking got married to him and everything. But yeah, I've talked with her since. I rode my bicycle like across 3 states in the United States one summer back in 2013, and I stopped by my dad's house. My dad is a fucking very long, ugly story. But at the same time, like, we're living, and no matter how wrong and ugly and disgusting the motherfucker is, he's still like my dad and everything, right? And parts of this, the parts of the whole reason why I'm even allowed to even stop by the motherfucking piece of shit's house is not only that we're both alive still, but that the prison system let him out. You see what I'm saying? you know? But yeah, I have questions. I seek answers, you know? So, yeah, so I stopped by his house to ask questions and seek answers. I was 12 years old when he got put in prison. Um, Prior to him going to prison, I thought that my dad was like some kind of fucking hero, always there for me, always kind to me, provided for me. But I didn't know that my dad was molesting my oldest sister, which is my half sister. She's not my dad's daughter, but at the same time, she's my motherfucking sister. And yeah, shattered my entire fucking world. I'm the only male in my family besides, my dad, but totally shattered me, made me feel like less of a male, uh, made me wondering about me, and I'm not even the motherfucker, I'm just the son of the motherfucker, you know, totally horrible fucking existence. I'm telling you what. Those motherfuckers don't even know who they hurt. Tell you what. But other than that, like, so I find out my dad's married to this fucking psychologist that turns out to be the number one in the fucking entire nation of the United States of America, which is telling too, since the whole nation is ran by fucking pedophiles, and the cops, they'll fucking they'll help the pedophile more than they'll help the fucking catchers of the pedophiles. But she's not the one that diagnosed me in third grade, but she did talk to me about mental health. I've been dealing with mental health my entire life. I mean, I was diagnosed in third grade, but I've been I've been chronically depressed since well before third grade. Like, um, yeah. When I was born, I was like a 9 pound, 8 ounce baby. So my mom was having a hard time pushing me out, and I was born at home. So like I was getting strangled. So I basically came out lifeless, and then they had to revive me. And basically, I don't know what it is, but I think that I've had a couple outer body experiences before I even left the womb. Because when I came out, I remember I've been cognizant since as far as I can remember, which I can remember being cognizant in the womb, which is real weird because not many people was cognizant in the womb. Um, but I've been I've known about my depression and anxiety and stress for um, years before I was even 3 years old. Um, so it's something weird to talk about, but at the same time, it's like maybe some of you can't understand, but at the same time, it's I can't tell you it's not the truth. I wish it wasn't the truth. I wish that I could be. They say ignorance is bliss, and my ass hasn't been able to live in bliss moment of my existence. I remember when I was a child, when I was in the womb, I could hear my mom bitching at my dad about not having a job because my dad was between jobs. I was the only one born. I was the only one of my kin that was born at home because there was no job, there was no insurance, there was no anything for me. I was born on Thanksgiving night in I almost said 2082. In 1982, I was born at home. Uh, hey, Brandon Mitchell, good to see you. And Money 420, thank you for being here. Awesome, very awesome people. All you guys in the chat are badass. I only got 626 or 29 subscribers, and I always say that my subscribers are probably the realest people on the earth in YouTube. They some of my subscribers are probably Nye County fucking pigs. I have no doubt that the fucking public pretender that keeps on trying to force herself on me isn't watching me right now. You know what I mean? But hello to you. I have a rhyme that goes along with you for you, red-haired you. You evil ass you. By the way, everybody, they want to try to tell me that I have no right to speedy trial because my public defender, had to go to Ramadan a couple times during my case and asked for a continuance. But I'm not the person that has to. I'm not the one that has to say no to any continuances. I respect her. I respect the fact that she wanted to go to Ramadan or whatever it's called, Ram Kapoor or whatever the fuck it was. It's not my faith, not my religion, not my belief, not my party. But what am I supposed to do? Like, no, that fucking bitch can't go to no fucking Ramadan or whatever the fuck that shit is. I don't know. I probably should have done that. Because right now they're trying to act like I have no right to fucking speedy trial. I'm sitting in exile as a refugee with a fucking fictitious manufactured bench warrant that they shouldn't even have. It's not even based on my charges. It's based on the fact that I will not comply with their fucking psychological evaluation, which I have a right to say no to. That's not a lawful order. Not even no matter what fucking judge, even if a federal judge ordered you to a psychological evaluation, that's not a lawful order. There's nothing to back that. You have the right to your own health care. They can't order you to health care, and I don't need a psychological evaluation to begin with. A lot of you people might think I'm a fucking crazy ass lunatic, but at the same time, you know what? I have the capacity, but I'm pretty much a good boy. I'll never take the chance from you. You want to fight me? I'll take the fight from you, but you gotta be in consent. I'm not gonna come across the street and attack you for nothing. Some soda my friend got me. Yeah, but Christopher, real, an advocate through the ADA. That's you gotta realize the ADA is a fictitious fucking government entity. It's like fucking the Patriot Act has nothing to do with patriots. The fucking ADA has nothing to do with disability. With the advocates for disability. Nope. They don't give a fuck about you. You know what I mean? Anyways, an advocate would just be an attorney anyway, and they can't represent you unless they're licensed with the same state that's fucking maliciously prosecuting you. So, like, I can't even agree to an attorney if I wanted to right now. For one, I can't trust them, and that has nothing to do with the public trust. The public trust is a trust, not a Not a, oh, I trust you trust. It's a fucking fiduciary trust. But yeah, if anybody ever watched my fucking videos, I got a couple boring videos with it's like a black screen, and everybody says, "Dude, this isn't even a video. It's like a black screen of a phone conversation. What the fuck kind of shit is this?" It's like if you listen to the phone conversation, the Nevada State Bar lady says admits to me and you through me that there are no lawyers. They have no lawyers. They only have state bar licensed attorneys. You have to be a state bar attorney in order to represent people in the courts, unless you want to represent yourself. And then they try to tell you you're a fool for representing yourself. But Christopher knows for a fact he's not a fool, and he represented himself. He's actually the opposite of a fool. No, they just want you to think they care. Exactly, Brandon Mitchell. But anyways, yeah, my stepmom fucking psychologist. You would think that having a stepmom as a psychologist, it's funny because I guess she has a son that also has mental illness, and I guess he's a handful for her, you know. And it's like, you know, yeah, people with mental illnesses are a handful, but that doesn't mean they don't have rights, don't deserve freedoms. Yeah, but yeah, the ADA, they don't give a fuck about you. That's like calling up the ACLU and thinking that they're gonna fucking care about your civil rights case. You better hope that they fucking find some sort of fucking ounce of interest in that. Yeah. Oh, I know, Christopher Real. Oh, I know. Yeah, we can't represent ourselves because we are only ourselves, but it's the wordage that they, you know, like it's kind of like me trying to explain to a bunch of sheep that have been trained to fucking call the police when that's not a government title. Public service employee is a government title. But they'll be like, no, that's the police. It even says it right there on their shirt. Kind of like they think that drive is drive because they have a D on the stick shifter. Fucking the most stupidest, ignorantest ass motherfuckers in the whole country, in the whole world. But like, you know, we've all been like indoctrinated. These are common colloquial terms. Sorry, I'm not going to be able to say that right now. Oh, you can represent your person. Oh, I know. Yeah. But they're not going to teach you that, tribe. They're not going to teach you the difference between represent and um, being them and presenting. Presenting and representing, they're not going to teach you the difference between that. They're just going to fucking fool you and leave it up to you to learn. And if you learn and you try to tell the normie, you'll be the fool. They got the upper hand, man. Fuck. They could probably even use this video to try to teach somebody else that fucking I'm a crazy fucker that look at him. He does need a psychological eval. Look at he's talking about the difference between presentation and representation. And thinks that it matters. They'll try to say that we think that it matters. Without telling everybody that no, it's them that thinks it matters and they're the ones holding it against you. It is something to try. An advocate is not an attorney. Ah. I've never met a pro bono advocate that could speak better than me when I'm the one that's going to have to be doing the speaking in the first place, because all an advocate pro bono or an advocate can do is like kind of like coach you into like saying some stuff or not saying some stuff, and then like you have to walk into that fucking dungeon and fucking stand on your own 2 feet and try to present yourself best you can do. I'm starting to have I can't even speak out loud. It's like that Matt guy, that Matt Brown from the Alaskan Bush people. For like a whole month, he was talking about how he was gonna help, how he was gonna, seek help, and he was gonna, move out, and how he was going to make a change, and you know what I mean? Like, go back and watch all Matt Brown's videos for like the last month, and see how he was like talking about seeking help and, like gonna move out and like make a change and, do good. Yep, yep. Pay your bills, a radical customer. Exactly. Exactly. Plus, they won't talk about topics I can't. There's that stupid $sign in front of that fucking comment. Sorry, East Carbon Exposed. Very good to see you, good man. Place another comment, East Carbon, so I can read the comment that you posted, please, sir. Only pro bono signs with us. Sings with us. Sings. East Carbon, just put a period and then push enter for me, please. Oh, there you go. Good job. Exactly. Plus, they won't talk about topics you insist are relevant. Exactly. Exactly. Good to see you. You right. Yeah, good. Good to see you too. East Carbon Exposed. Yep. 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 That's why I keep trying to tell my little sister. It's like I have to fucking totally I have to totally retrain and school everyone before I can even get justice in my case, because for one, it's hard. When we talk about probable cause, the video shows me push a deputy, barely. So they're like, what the fuck do you mean? The average person would be like, what do you mean you have rights? They have all the probable cause in the world. You're right there in the camera. You pushed that deputy. It's like, but nah. He pushed me. I reacted to his push. That's how they don't have probable cause, that I pushed the deputy. But to try to explain this to a normie ass shitizen would take like fucking the next fucking 15 years. And if you guys were on Brian from Here's the Deal live, just like from like 45 minutes ago or something like that, he didn't even have time to like sit there and listen to, like, he barely made it through a small first portion of the entire subject before it was like, no, I got to go on to somebody else, bro. I'm gonna have to ask you to like send me an email about your shit and then see if maybe I'll get back to you. It's like, bro, Brian from Here's the Deal with all your 500,000 subscribers. I did that back in 2023. I sent you my fucking I sent you my the evidence I had at the time, everything that I had at the time. I got way more from the time because like I say, the fictitious warrant on the warrant Wednesday on the fucking public Facebook post for the sheriff's department, warrant Wednesday, it says I have a warrant for not appearing to their court for battery on a peace officer, stalking, and abuse of the elderly. Okay? So that when the fucking normal citizens reading that warrant Wednesday on Facebook, oh man, I hope you guys catch this bastard. What? It says he's armed and dangerous and shows signs of sovereign citizens' ideals, sovereign citizen beliefs. Yeah, get that bastard. They don't tell you on this warrant Wednesday that my warrant is for not complying with their fucking psychological evaluation. It has nothing to do with my charges. And that the fucking court process was stayed. And that I actually don't even have a court to go to. What I have is a psychological evaluation that they want me to go to, but I always reserve the right to say no. But they're not telling you that on their warrant Wednesday. They're telling you that I'm wanted for like fucking stalking people and fucking pushing older people, and you know, when I'm really the motherfucker that would protect older fucking people. And I would fucking I'm really the one that was being stalked. But they're not going to tell you that part. So, you know, I have to try to retrain all the normal citizens before I can even begin to start getting justice in the fucking United States of a fucking America with all the sheep. Yeah, I am. I got a lawsuit against them. 1983, Monell. But what good does that do when they're fucking holding the keys to the fucking prison? If I show my face in Nevada, I can be fucking arrested, put into their custody where they want to bind me, gag me, and medicate me into compliance. Competency is what they said. Brian from Here's the Deal couldn't even listen to the story long enough to hear that part of the story. Well, I got a lawsuit out against them. You know, you can look up on Pacer. It says Provost Guard versus Nye County, but it's gonna fucking basically say that fucking, you know, they've denied my lawsuit. They've made me jump through all sorts of hoops in order just to file it. They filed my initial lawsuit, but determined that I have to appear in court in Nevada in order to prosecute the lawsuit. But they have a catch-22 where if I appear in their court in Nevada, they can arrest me on their fictitious warrant. So it's a catch-22, suspending my right to defense and my right to speedy trial. Imagine that, people. But if you guys can't listen to my fucking story, then how are you guys even going to even care to give a fuck? You know what I mean? So thank you, Brian from Here's the Deal. It was way too hard to sit there and listen to me for 15, 20 minutes. Fuck. But he says, send me an email and fucking maybe he'll hear my story. You know? I love Brian. Just because I'm talking like this doesn't mean I don't fucking like him or that I don't think he's a good person. So just for your information, you know, it's like fucking, oh, what's his name? DMX, when he was asked about Eminem. It's like, don't ask me a bunch of stupid questions trying to make some beef between me and Eminem, okay, bro? But yeah, I'm only just being real. I'm not going to fucking sit here and fucking lie to you guys. I can only tell you what I know and what I see. And all I know is I told Brian I needed help with my story back in 2023. Sent him all the documentation I had. I mean, at least a couple videos of proof. And then homeboy never got back to me. And then I went on for the last 3 years feeling left behind. And I'm sorry for that. But, it's kind of hard when, you need. You think that in the United States that fucking if you have it on video where your rights are getting violated, that there'll be thousands of fucking Americans standing up to fucking be like, wait a second, that's not right. But I tend to get more about like, man, this guy sounds crazy. Shouldn't he be on his meds? Dang, he was yelling cuss words. He said the word faggot. Faggot is a cut down for heterosexual males, not homosexual males. Okay? It's a schoolyard cut down for heterosexual males. Gay people are righteously gay. They can do what they want. I'm not talking shit about them. But yeah, Chili had a hard time with me using the word faggot against that deputy that is a fucking faggot. Not a gay guy, but just a little piece of shit motherfucker. Which is the use of the word. I can't send emails right now from my Biscuit8208 email address, East Carbon, because Google has a little fucking limit on how much storage you can have, and they say I'm past my storage, but everything on my the only thing I use my email for is storing evidence or trying to showcase evidence, and to free up space in my email in order to be able to send emails again, I would have to delete a shit ton of evidence, and not only from this case. I've got years of evidence stored up. People only see me bitching about this case right here, but all the way from 2020 all the way through 2021, I was fighting a case with a fucking separate county. I stomped their fucking ass in court. They tried to arraign me, but they put the wrong name on the fucking documentation. It's not my job to fucking get the name right. It's not my job to spell for them either. And if they can't fucking prove that I'm the fucking person they're trying to prosecute, they have to try to reset a new arraignment date, which is double jeopardy and not a fucking lawful activity. So fucking, I never went to appear again, and I never got a warrant for my arrest. I stomped their ass in court, but you guys don't even fucking know about that because I don't talk about it, because that's a different matter that I'm not dealing with right now. I'm not being actively fucking maliciously prosecuted and rights violated for. Yeah, my Google Drive. Yeah, I got to figure out how to put everything onto my Google Drive. But then it's funny because like somehow my mom and my sister are also on my Google Drive, some sort of Google family thing where fucking maybe my sister and my mom asked for that shit, but I didn't fucking ask for that. So now I get fucking all these notifications from my mom's calendar. Oh, going on a road trip with my sisters in February. It's like, hey mom, so you're going on a road trip with your sisters in February, huh? How'd you know about that, Willis? Well, it came up on my calendar or the Google Calendar or whatever. Fucking, Jesus. This technology is so fucking great. I'm gonna turn on the light real quick, guys. Let's read some of these. Send me an email, Rights. Let's go over your case again. That was last year we talked. Yeah, it was. It was. Shit, that's almost a year ago. That's almost a year ago that we talked. I'm not even at my house. I'm at my friend's house. I'm off grid right now. I'm at my friend's house so I can charge my batteries and fucking use the internet. I stay in the off-grid shack. It's kind of like Direct D. Even though Direct D is a little fucking asshole, and I don't like him, I still don't think that the fucking cops have a true warrant out for him. I think that they're maliciously prosecuting Direct D, and they need to leave fucking Direct D the fuck alone. Direct D's a fucking honorable guy as far as watching the cops and criticizing them goes. But other than that, I don't like the Direct D. Fucking, he fucking was a piece of shit dickhead to me. When I wasn't even, you know, it happens that like the live chat and then the chat, a little lack of proper communication happens where you read something that somebody says and then you think that there was something different. It's kind of like how Utah Defender accidentally, I think Utah Defender is the Vigilance Committee. I might be wrong about that, but it was Vigilance Committee's live, and then fucking Kay Stevenson said something, and Utah Defender, not knowing it was Kay Stevenson because Kay Stevenson changed their name to KS, something against nuke war or something like that. The Vigilance Committee harked off on Kay Stevenson in a misunderstanding of what Kay Stevenson said, and all of a sudden, Kay Stevenson got mad at Vigilance Committee for harking off on him, and it was all a big misunderstanding. And yeah, that's how it happens on this shit. Oh, Utah Defender isn't Vigilance Committee? Okay, I thought it was, because Vigilance Committee was showcasing Utah Defender's videos, and then I thought that he said something about I did this because of that, talking about a thing. Plus, only East Carbon does anything in Utah. I guess, Brandon Mitchell. I was born in Utah. I was born in Utah County, Utah, Lakeshore, Utah, on a couch at home. Place that Lakeshore is like a farming community of Spanish Fork, Utah, which is right before Price County, Utah, which is where East Carbon Exposed lives. It's probably East Carbon Exposed is like a 45-minute drive from where I was born. No, Brandon Mitchell's awesome. East Carbon Exposed. I don't know if you had a falling out with him. It's got to be based on a misunderstanding because Brandon Mitchell is one of us, bro. He is one of us. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard because I don't like everybody that you guys like, and you guys don't like everybody that I like. But I know for a fact that you guys are in the assembly for the right reasons, both of you. So if you and Brandon Mitchell can find it in your hearts to get along, it'd probably be a badass thing. Just saying. It was kind of like how you and Gavin Syme had a misunderstanding, and then it was hard for you guys to get along after that misunderstanding. Yeah. I'm going to tell you right now that I'm not always going to be. You might not always agree with me, and I might not be able to relay the facts as good as others, but that doesn't mean I'm intentionally lying to you or anybody else. And that might be what happened with East Carbon, Brandon Mitchell. And I hope that you guys can find a way to get along because both of you are fucking awesome human beings. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. I have much love for both of you independently, and don't take that as I am not on one or the other side. I think both of you guys are some awesome individuals. East Carbon blocked me on his channel. Sorry to hear that, William L. I don't want East Carbon to block me. I fucking appreciate the guy, and I really like his loud, protesting voice. You know, you don't have to go nowhere. East Carbon exposed. You know, just because these guys are at odds with you doesn't mean that you're any less of a human being. Just let's just all sit here and take it. You know, I'm one to talk. You know, it's hard to fucking take it. It's easier said than done. You know, put up with things, but at the same time, fucking, you know, So I can't tell you guys how to feel or how to act, but I can just tell you, I love you. I have respect for both of you, all three of you, and I'd like to see you all get along. Okay, that sounds good, East Carbon. I'm not going anywhere. In fact, I'll be in so many more places than these. That calling them crybaby isn't gonna make them love you anytime soon. But that's you obviously don't want their love, and I'm not saying that that's bad or wrong because you have your own way to have your own feelings. But yeah. I need you guys. I need you guys to hopefully never misunderstand me, and I need you guys to be rights advocates in your own respects, and I need you guys to keep on trying for rights and freedoms and liberties, and even though we're living it right now, we might not be able to comprehend how important this shit is, even though we know it's important. What we're doing, you guys, is so fucking important. When East Carbon gets arrested, I'll be sitting back laughing. That's too bad, Brandon Mitchell. I don't think I'd like to see you do that, bro. I think that he's a fellow. I don't want to say fellow American because I'm having a hard time with the entire American thing. But a fellow human being with rights and freedoms and liberties, and I wish the best for both of you. I hope you guys both fucking win your cases and win your future cases and stomp these rights violators right the fuck out. Not literally, but like fucking spiritually. Yeah. Sorry for getting emotional on you guys. I'm highly emotional right now. It's hard for me to deal with everything that's I deal with the same things that you guys are dealing with, like Katie Kidman. She is one of my heroes. She's still a hero. Just because she loves ice doesn't mean she's not a hero of mine. But man, that ice loving shit. How you gonna fucking know that the pigs are wrong? and then you're gonna go ahead and fucking support ICE? What the fuck is that? But just because I let her know that I don't agree with that shit doesn't mean I don't like her. Tell you that right now. I put my motherfucking life between her and an attacker of her, you know. And Frank Pan, he joined the bandwagon defending her against. So he likes ICE too, basically, which I still love Frank Pants too. You know, they like ICE though, guys. You know, it's like fucking ICE is a violation of our rights to life. If you have to prove your documentation in order to live, you don't have a right to life. So then every time we get stopped, what, we have to show our ID? No. I don't want to have to show an ID even if I fucking committed a crime and was caught in a fucking act. You caught me in an act of a crime, take me to fucking jail, put me in it for a set amount of time, let me do my time, pay for my fucking crimes, and fucking leave me the fuck alone. None of this double jeopardy identification bullshit. You know? Identification is not just the tool of slavery, it is slavery. You would be free if you didn't have that identification. And the government knows it. That's why they need you to be identified. They said back in the founding of the country that fucking it's better that 400 men go, 400 actual criminals go free than have one individual that was fucking wrongfully prosecuted. And that has a lot to do with documentation and identification. You don't need to know what my name is so that you can like fucking say, oh, you know, they always say, oh, well, we want you to know who you are, so in case something does happen in the future, we know who we were dealing with out here. It's like, so you got my ID like fucking 2 weeks ago, so you think I committed this crime right here? That's not fucking articulation of a fact. Fucking dumbass motherfucking cops we're dealing with here. I don't even like ice in my fucking drink. When I buy pop, I set it next to the fridge, not in the fridge. I don't fucking waste my fridge for pop. Or any beverage, actually. I used to work construction a lot, so you do not want to work construction out in the heat. You don't want to framing or roofing and then go ahead and drink a fucking ice cold pop or any other fucking liquid. No, that's a bad idea. You want room temperature liquids when you're working construction. Yep, I don't even like ice in my drink. When ice fishing, what's the best color of immigrants to use? I don't know because I don't know what an immigrant is. We all have the right to live on this earth. There's only one earth, and we're all born here. I can't tell you what an immigrant is because if they have a right to move freely upon earth, how are they being an immigrant? The United States is a corporation, a fictitious for-profit corporation, a political body. The United States could be abolished all the way to fucking hell, and we would still need rights on this earth. I say don't deport an immigrant, deport the United States corporation as a whole. But how are we going to do that? Like fucking most Americans be like, that's not very patriotic of you. But to answer your story, Brandon Mitchell, probably brown, you know, because like too black and they just think that you're an African American person, too white and they just think that you're a white guy. White guys and African Americans, they seem to, you know, have the right to live in the United States. But brown people, for some reason, I don't know why, but they don't have the right to live in the United States. on top of it, Spain is a fucking European country. Like Mexico, shit. Mexico is fucking more more of a European country than the United States of America. Tell you what, these people are fucking awesome. Shit, I wouldn't know how to tell you. I've been protesting ICE since 2008. You guys, they had an ICE detention facility in 2008 in Nye County, around there. 2000, between 2008 and 2013. For-profit private prison. You're talking FEMA camp. You're talking fucking indefinite detention. You're talking massive human rights violations. The type of violations that people need the fucking gallows for. They're the only two people in my comment section, East Carbon Exposed and Brandon Mitchell. You guys are badass. Yeah, I hear that, Brandon Mitchell. But yeah, ICE encompasses immunity. ICE is a law enforcement agency that uses immunity. Immunity is wrong. It's a violation of them getting qualified immunity is a violation of their oath. Basically, they have an obligated duty to full accountability and transparency. It's called full disclosure. So they're trying to say that they have a right when they're supposed to be upholding rights. They can't have a right and uphold rights at the same time, because naturally anyone would uphold their own rights over others. So when that's what makes serving the public so honorable, even though we know that they aren't honorable today. They only serve the public for money these days, but it used to be that they didn't get paid for their service, which it's still written on the books that they're not supposed to be getting paid for their service. But you guys all know I've been trying to showcase this fact since 2020, and not many people are catching. Qualified immunity is actually not even a thing. It's an act of private gain for agent or agency, so it can't be a thing. Not that I don't want it to be a thing. It actively cannot be a thing in the United States government, because qualified immunity would be an act of private gain for agent or agency, a violation of provisions of law set to regulate his or her official conduct. But until the majority of the people study this and are able to say these things as freely as I am, qualified immunity will never change. People think that qualified immunity is a thing that needs to be stopped, when it's my understanding or my comprehension that qualified immunity is already stopped, that it's already written into law that they're not supposed to be acting for private gain. And for them to say, I got qualified immunity, something to me, that's an act of private gain. Therefore, it's already been written into the set provisions of law that are set to regulate his or her official conduct, that's a yeah. What immunity started out with in the United States was it was called sovereign immunity when it originally started. Immunity, and then when they always intended it to be an absolute immunity. It was always intended to be an absolute immunity, but the way they had it written into the books was sovereign immunity. And then when people started catching on to, wait a second, that's bullshit, then they changed it to qualified immunity and tried to make it seem like only the people that qualified for the immunity got the immunity, but it's actually a disqualification that sets them away from the immunity. But at the same time, they shouldn't have an immunity whatsoever to speak of, because it's a fiduciary role and they're merely ministerial, I should say. Their roles are ministerial. They have to follow the law. They have no discretion. They have to follow. They have to uphold the law, and they have to perform by the constitutional bounds of the law. They're not to have discretion of any sort, any kind. They're not supposed to have any immunities. An immunity and a discretion would be an act of private gain for agent or agency, a violation of the provisions of law set to regulate his or her official conduct. But the only problem is right now is that we have no militias set to regulate these provisions of law on them. We're all expecting them to regulate themselves. They're not going to regulate themselves. They think that they own our fucking public buildings. Watch a Bay Area transparency video. You'll see every single one of those shitbags, no matter how many California agencies he goes into, them shitbags think that they own the public buildings. And what is he doing in there with his camera? We know how it is. They're a bunch of ignorant motherfuckers skirting the law and breaking the law. And then they're telling us that we're frauditors. You know, it's like, no, we're not frauditors. We're actually doing a fucking honorable ass thing. And there ain't a whole lot of us that are getting paid at all. And the people that are getting paid for their YouTube videos are getting paid a whole hell of a lot less than they're announcing. You know, I'm sure the people like Long Island Audit, he was rich before he started. So it's easier for him to appear like he's getting paid a lot. But I bet he's getting paid a lot more than what we think, because we're not getting paid at all. You know, nothing. So, that was another thing when I was over on Brian from Here's the Deal's fucking live. The live kept cutting out to go to advertisements, and that's exactly how I know who's paid and who's not paid, because your live stream will get cut by a advertisement, you know. If they're running ads on your fucking live stream, that means you're getting fucking some sort of a cut, or you should be. You know, it's funny because I have 600 and something subscribers. I'm not even qualified to get a cut by YouTube standards. I've never got paid a dime. Yeah, I know. Tried the whole YouTube thing and got denied for reused content. It was all my original content at the time. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny how they give us an option to post a video for entertainment or educational purposes, but then they tell us that you know, because you could be showcasing somebody's content for educational purposes, which is supposed to be allowed under copyright rules. But the only thing is, though, is that they want to try to tell you you can't be monetized because you showcase somebody else's content under educational purposes. I think that's picking and choosing. You know, some of us are haves and some of us are have nots. That's why they make those fucking stupid TV shows like Big Brother or whatever it's called. You know, they want to teach us that haves and have nots. It's called redlining and greenlining. Everybody thought redlining was a fucking conspiracy theory until it came out sometime around like 2009, 2011, sometime in there that no, redlining and greenlining was actually a thing. It's where they take your social security number or some other number that they have, a birth number or social security number, and then they put you on either the red side of the line or the green side of the line. If you're on the green side of the line, you'll easily get that fucking firefighter job you've always been wanting, or the loan, you know, that you've always been wanting to start your own business. You might even, if you're on the green side of the line, you'll be offered, you know, somebody will come out the woodwork asking you if you want to become a Mason or part of the Elks Lodge, you know, first responders, the people that get all the loans and the leg ups in this world. If you're on the red side of the line, you don't get the loan, you don't get the offer to be the Mason, you don't get nothing. You don't get nothing. You get boredom. And then what they do after they make you boredom is what they do is they fucking outlaw boredom. You know, I wish Evil Love stuck around to talk some more. I'm gonna go now, you guys. I've been talking on here for a long time, and thank you so much for allowing me the viewers to talk to and for commenting back in the chat. I really needed to talk to somebody right now. I don't know how many more times I'm gonna be bamboozled into telling my story. Every time I tell my story, it seems like it just cuts me at my heart every time because it is a long story, and then I have to tell it, and then fucking I have to explain this and that, and then people don't really seem to care anyways, and nothing comes of it anyhow. So you know, it gets disheartening and it hurts. And every time I tell my story lately, I've been telling myself, okay, this is the last time I'm going to tell it. I'll never again try to tell my story. And then I see something like Brian allowing people to come up and tell their stories, gives me a glimmer of hope. And I'm like, oh, I should go tell my story over there. And then I fucking get let down again. So it's kind of like, you know, it's getting hard on me. But anyways, guys, have a good night. Much love. Hope you guys can find a way to come together